no doubt in my mind. Say nice things
From my perch outside the Capitol, I had a fine view of the president driving up Pennsylvania Avenue to address Congress the other night, and what a sight it was. All streets within 2 blocks of the Capitol had been closed, helicopters overhead, a 38-car motorcade, and 18 motorcycles, all of them roaring onto the heavily barricaded Capitol, which is now guarded by police and National Guard troops. Is the heavy security necessary? Only a fool would say no. But it made me feel old, and it made me mad, because what I was seeing was so different from the Washington I saw when I came here in 1969.
Well, Washington may have changed, but a lot of people say that a man who has reported on almost every corner of it hasn't changed much. Bob Schieffer has covered Washington for CBS News for nearly 30 years. He started his journalism career at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He covered the assassination of President Kennedy, and he was the first writer from a Texas newspaper to report from Vietnam.
There are so many people from this area who are in Vietnam, and so many of our readers have relatives and loved ones there that they want to know about and that they deserve to know about, and the Star-Telegram should tell them about.
After moving to television, he became one of the few correspondents to cover all 4 major beats: the Pentagon, the State Department, Capitol Hill, the White House.
Who wants more pizzazz in the stand-up?
Some beats taxed his abilities just a bit more than others.
What's going on back there?
Here we go. This is the last take. The good take. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The administration sees Hussein's participation.
We were in Nigeria, and I'll never forget, we were editing in this little hovel, and he couldn't get the name of the leader of Nigeria correct to save his life, over and over and over again. Obasanjo.
The Nigerian chief of state, General Obasanjo. Obasanjo and the president will talk.
He anchored the Saturday edition of the CBS Evening News for 20 years, the longest tenure for an anchor of a regularly scheduled network news broadcast.
And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. Truly shocking news from the Middle East tonight. Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin has been assassinated.
He's covered every presidential campaign.
For those who hold out hope that Gore may yet come from behind again and pull this out, what's he got to do?
Well, I'm not sure he can do it. If Bush wins Florida, it seems to me that Bush is going to be the president.
And worked the floor and the podium at every national convention since 1972. At one, he had a dual role.
Well, Dan, I think I finally found honest work. It seems like I'm going to become a kind of a camera stand or a camera tripod. I'm not sure how well it's going over, though. We may have the first reviews for my camera work. Someone walked up to me just a while ago and handed me this button. It says, "Come home, Bob."
Over his long career, he's interviewed presidents and prime ministers, congressmen, and, well, characters.
No, your solution is take out Saddam Hussein.
Take out Saddam. I'd get, as I've said this before, I would say to the Israelis, find me someone who just barely made it through intelligence training. I don't need your best and brightest. Just send me your dumbest old boy you got left. 3 days, he'll take care of it.
From his perch at the Capitol, it took all his powers of paraphrase to cover the impeachment of Bill Clinton.
While the president was on the telephone, according to her, let me just read this to make sure we don't. He unzipped his pants and exposed himself, and they had sex of a kind.
Since 1991, he's been the host and moderator of Face the Nation, and he's questioned just about everyone in Washington. A step up, you could say, from some of the other events he's covered.
Bob Schieffer, CBS News at the National Putt-Putt Championships at Rockville, Maryland.
On Face the Nation, his signature piece has become the popular commentary which closes the show and has won numerous awards and accolades.
The other night, the announcer described a lady curler as the Roger Clemens of curling, said she liked to throw the high, hard one. Say what? Roger Clemens? I know it's my fault, but I am missing something here. Maybe the Summer Olympics will be more my thing. I hear they're going to give a lot of attention to miniature golf. When people asked last week, are we winning this war, I thought back to Vietnam when people asked that a lot. What it took us a while to understand back then was that when we have to ask, we are not winning. Winning is apparent. We'll know we're winning when Osama bin Laden is dead or behind bars and those people in the caves come out with their hands up, and when we can open a letter without wondering if it's going to kill us. The best defense against murderers, despots, and crooks is to draw them out of the shadows and into the sun. The best way to destroy their arguments is to make sure that everyone knows exactly what their arguments are. Barricades and weapons can make us safer, but only when we conquer the poverty and ignorance that breed hatred can we be truly secure. I'll never forget the first boy-girl party at our house. Mom was complimented on how nice she looked. My instructions were, Dad, please just act normal. We take voting so seriously at my house, my wife has instructed me not to tell even her who I vote for. She's afraid I'll disappoint her. Oh, ye of little faith. But isn't that the best part? We can tell everyone or no one. So go vote. It's good for the country and good for you. Makes you feel big and strong. That's it from us. We'll see you right here next week on Face the Nation.